Hi there, I'm Goat Sharpener, and I sharpen goats for a living. Who wrote this script? Anyways, do you know what else is sharp? Vicious Bee from So, to create Vicious Bee, we're going to need a bee. So Google says that it's approximately 2 by 2 in size, but that would mean the bee is literally a cube. That doesn't look too right, so we'll just yeah, that looks much better. Let's create the Vicious Bee face. I have a reference image, so we're gonna try to create it as best as I can. Yeah, that looks amazing. That's gonna be our face. Oh, look at that bad boy. And then you can just like make the rest of the bee kind of black. Oh, that's tough. That's a tough Vicious Bee right there. Let's give him some wings. Alrighty, that's our Vicious Bee. So next step, we're gonna need like those little spiky things that he shoots out. Alright, so my first idea is we can kind of use like a wedge, and then basically if we can duplicate it and then form like a triangle kind of like this and rotating it to create a somewhat of a cone shape. You know, while it looks kind of cool, not exactly a cone. Alright, new idea. Very similar to that, but instead of a normal wedge, we use a corner wedge, kind of like this. Yeah, I mean, that definitely looks a lot more like a cone. New idea. We take a cylinder, we cover it up in these like blocks that are angled towards the cylinder, right? So you can kind of cut it off to create a circle at the bottom like this. We negate it, and then we put, oh my days, that's a cone. Okay, so now we just have to add the cone onto our bee. Alright, so now we weld the bee together like this, and now we have something that kind of resembles the Vicious Bee. Alright, now to get some data on some actual Vicious Bee, we are going to enter games until I actually, you know, find a Vicious Bee. Summon nighttime. Yes! Okay, so first off, it's gonna start off like this tiny spike in the ground. Actually, fun fact, if you actually check underground, it originates from like this really tall spike. So it's tall and skinny. So I need to make my spikes tall and skinny. All right, let's begin the fight. Okay, ready? Just shoots at the ground. Okay, so first attack phase, he targets the player, and then he kind of just attacks everywhere else. Okay, so we're gonna note that. So right now he's attack. Oh, we kind of killed him. That was really fast. I didn't exactly get to see anything. All right, back to studio. Okay, so based on the field research I gathered, the spike is pretty thin but pretty tall, so something like this, and they come out of these little circles. Okay, yeah, so something like this, little red circle on the ground, and out comes like this spike. This is going to be our baseline for the spike. So first, let's see if we can get it to like move from underground very fast up towards the sky. Okay, so I just have a really simple script right here. Basically just gonna move it like 20 blocks up really fast. So let's just see how that kind of goes. Okay, yeah. Why does the bee move with it? Oh no, now just the bee moves. Okay, hold up. Okay, so I'm low-key stupid. I put the script in the wrong place, but now is this not the Y value? Why is it going sideways? Okay, so for some reason this code, it thinks the X value is up, so I guess that's just we're gonna use that. Like that's the only way I can make it go up. So now we're just gonna test it one more time. We're gonna have to go down 15. Yeah, so there you go. So now the spike comes out of the ground. Very nice. All right, let's see if we can make the spikes track the player now. So first off, let's just set like a little boundary of where this bee can attack. So this is gonna be the area for our Vicious Bee fight, I guess. It's a nice 100 by 100 box. And this is going to be our parameters. We're going to use this as our starting spike. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that looks pretty damn good to me. Okay, so what I want to do is when this spike hits, it's going to come all the way up. Yeah, there you go. That was honestly that was pretty good. All right, so now after the Vicious Bee flies out, it needs to start like tracking the player and shoots out spikes. Yeah, I don't really know how to do that. Alright guys, I figured out how to do player tracking spikes. That's pretty good, you know. It's just missing some some animations. Okay, I believe we got it this time. Fuck! Look at that. Look at that. First try. This is flawlessly executed. Look at that. Look at that. This is literally Bee Swarm Simulator. All right, so now that we have the player tracking one done, we just need to make the one where it shoots out a bunch of random spikes. So we could locally just take this and just multiply it by like 200. Well, that's something. Okay, so I've been trying to get this random spike working, and I thought like it just wasn't working. And then I look underground, and this is what's happening underground. The spikes are still moving sideways. I forgot, for some reason this model flips to X, Y, and Z. This actually looks kind of sick. Yo, make this the new Vicious Bee in Bee Swarm Simulator. Like, now we're talking. So I think now we just gotta polish up the animations a little bit, because these things are looking a little too fast. I think you get a little more of a warning before the spikes come out. And then we'll just combine it together with the bee, and then we'll have a vicious bee. Alright, so I've added some animations to the spikes, and to be honest, this looks a lot more convincing now. Oh my days. I like this a lot more. Alright, so I believe we finally combined everything. So here is what it looks like. So we have the spike. We're gonna go attack the vicious bee. Boom. We summon the vicious bee, and then it starts shooting out. Yo, what the hey, yo, what? Okay, some misfortunes happened, but this time I think we got it. There we go. So it's gonna start targeting the player, and then it's gonna shoot out a bunch of random spikes across the field, and then we're going back to targeting the player. And then there we go. We have done it. Look at that vicious bee. Look, oh my, yo, call me the scripting genie. This video took so long to make. It's been literal months since I've uploaded. All right. Now that we have that, we just gotta make some final touches. So I'm just curious. I don't know about that one. We're gonna have a recreation of the freaking spider field. Oh, okay. Now the only issue is we can barely see the spike now. It's like kind of down there. So let me just bring that up a little bit. All right, so now we have a little field. And then the last thing we need to add is some sound effects, music. And as much as I would like to animate the bee, I'm not that good at animating bees, but we'll see what we can do. Yo, that's literally the vicious bee sound. Oh, yo, I kind of vibe with this. I kind of want that. All right, let's go add in our sounds. All right, so this is what we have so far. So we walk up to the spike. We're ready to fight the vicious bee. All right, there we go. Sound starts playing, and then the spikes come out with the very interesting sound. This is the closest thing I could find, and then yeah, that kind of sounds like a machine gun. I can't lie. I am kind of curious what's gonna happen if we add in that other music that we found earlier. Yo, what the? Yo, is this tough in the Big 26? Wait, hold up. So yeah, so that is my recreation of the Bee Swarm Simulator Vicious Bee. You know, I think it's pretty accurate, one-to-one exact copy. Might even be better. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and one final thing, you might have noticed, you might have not, I added some animations to the bee. Step in the meadow, bees all around, collecting that nectar, making my sound, queen in the hive, yeah, she running the show.